Unqualified Heroes! My name is Daniel Perez. I'm one of your co-hosts.
My name is Messi Morales, and we are
Your Unqualified Heroes. So, today is another day, beautiful day, to talk about She-Hulk and some other stuff. But She-Hulk's later. So, we got some news to bring to you about certain things. One of them being, which shall we start first?
Let's start with the funny one, and then let's go with
the other one. All right. So, if you ever woke up on a day in college and you're like, man, I want some nice steak from a nice restaurant. But then you look at your wallet and you're like, oh, I guess I can only afford ramen noodles. Well, that's Warner Brothers right now. They can only afford ramen noodles. They're broke.
Yeah, they're experiencing some financial brokenness right now. So recent news came out saying that they cannot find their Kevin Feige because they're broke.
They got no money to find their Kevin Feige. They got no money to pay Kevin Feige.
So that's new now. So I wonder if that is because of the merger of what's going on with Discovery and Warner Brothers. They just lost so much money with all the projects they just canceled. Eventually, I don't know if they're gonna cancel the Flash. I don't know if they're gonna cancel Aquaman. They can't really cancel those movies because that's literally the only income coming in other than the Flash season 9 coming in soon. But that's
barely anything.
And I know Black Adam is gonna at least put $10 in their pockets, but they can't cancel any more movies. If they keep canceling movies, they're gonna either run out as a company or the end of Warner Brothers as we know it.
Yep. There was actually maybe about a month ago, maybe less, rumor came out because they were canceling all these films, and there was I don't know if it was a rumor or if it was an actual truth, but they said that Warner Brothers only had money to advertise Don't Worry Darling, the new movie with Harry Styles and Florence Pugh and Black Adam. That they had literally no other money to advertise any other films that they had. They were that broke. And Don't Worry Darling did it just come out? Yeah, it just came out, had the movie premiere. Black Adam comes out very soon, in a month from now. So after that, until then, at least, they're broke. They're so broke. They can't even afford ramen.
It's that bad. Like Daniel said, you're that broke college kid that can't even afford ramen. So all you have is those leftovers from a year ago that you haven't touched, and they're all expired. That's literally all you have. So
you're just eating your tears.
Exactly. So those are the equivalent of Flash and Aquaman. So you better eat those before you starve. So Warner Brothers, release those movies before you go bankrupt. So so that's the funny news. This is funny news. It's really not funny, kind of messed up that they're actually going bankrupt. One of the biggest movie studios out there is struggling financially.
Dude,
on this one.
It's crazy to think about because I remember watching movies like VCR movies, which is a long time ago. And you'd have the Warner Brothers logo in the beginning of the movie. This is a big company. This is a massive company.
Warner Brothers been here for years. And then
they got so many stuff that they own, or at least used to own. I don't know about now. Maybe they're just selling everything because they're broke. It's like Monopoly, when you've just everyone monopolizing you, and you're just okay, I guess I'm gonna sell this, and I'm just selling everything because I got nothing. And now they have DC, which we know, comic book fans know that DC, as a comic, is huge. It's massive.
And the funny thing is, they own every single right to every single character. It's not like Marvel and Disney. Like Marvel and Disney own some characters. Like
Yeah.
right now, they have mostly every character except for the Spider-Man Sony. The thing is, they own every character, so they can do literally anything they want. So if they go bankrupt, like Marvel did back in the day when they had to sell the characters, I think they might have to do the same thing to save the franchise.
No, literally, yeah.
Do you imagine they sell some characters to Paramount, or they say some characters to Disney? I don't know.
Oh
And
my
then like
gosh.
they do imagine. Oh, I cannot. If Sony takes any characters from the DC, I think they're gonna like ruin the characters more than Warner Brothers did.
More than it's already ruined. Oh my
gonna-
gosh.
But like I don't know, that could I don't know if it will ever get to that point that they might have to sell some characters just like they did with Marvel back in the day. But yeah, so they're currently, like I said earlier, they're financially broke. Um yeah, so they can't even afford to pay a Kevin Feige person. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty embarrassing. But we'll go with less embarrassing news. Messi, break it down.
All right. So recently we have heard, and officially, that we finally got the writers for Fantastic Four. So on D23, we already knew that David Shackman, or whatever his last name is,
Matt Shackman.
yeah, Matt Shackman. I don't know why I said David at all. But yeah, Matt Shackman is the director of Fantastic Four. Those news were already out before D23, but I guess D23, Kevin Feige said, you know what? Let me say it again. I guess like to give him a tease for Fantastic Four.
Just to say something.
Yeah, you have to say something about them. So we have two writers that have been working with Kevin Feige recently to bring these characters alive in the whole MCU and make sure they are brought right, like just like throw into the puddle, whatever. So their name is Jeff Kaplan and Ian Springer. I think that's
Springer. Yeah.
Springer, yeah, that's how you say his last name. So yeah, so we have two writers for this movie. So eventually, I'm guessing, because we have a director and now we have writers, and obviously we have all the production crew of Marvel. So we have everybody that we need. All we need is
Cast.
That's all we need. So I'm guessing they're gonna start casting people, actors, if they have not already. I'm pretty sure they have look into people. If it's not John Krasinski being Fantastic Four, it could be the guy from I forget his name, Joe Goldberg. I'm just gonna say his new character. Just look him up. Or Daniel Perez here. It looks like him. If it's not them two, I'm pretty sure they have other ideas, just like for Susan Storm, The Thing, and
Human Torch.
I forgot his name. Yeah. So that's the other news for the Happy. So we went from down here to up here. So
I do have some stuff to say about that. Is because we have the crew and we're just missing the cast, and we know how the internet is nowadays, that could come at any moment. It could by the time we're recording this, it could already find out. Look at your Instagram and like, boom, this person's been casted for Fantastic Four, and you're like, whoa. Or it could come out in a long time from now. I don't know. But it could come at any moment. So we'll be ready to tell you guys when it happens. We'll come out with like a video or something.
Yeah. I can't wait for anybody.
Casting. Just give us somebody.
There's a rumor the guy from How I Met Your Mother, Jason Segel, he's a quote unquote apparently going to be playing the character The Thing, but before I think before he turns to Thing, which is his name is Ben something.
Ben Grimm.
Yeah. So apparently he's gonna show up on She-Hulk. That was a long time rumor. That was of like like She-Hulk is like it's just full of cameos, and they said, no, I don't know who said it, but a rumor just saying that Jason Segel may appear as Ben, forget his last name again, on She-Hulk. So that would be a cool thing because Kevin said that we may see characters before they actually show in their own movies, just like the Thunderbolts. I know we
Yeah.
got the lineup on D23, but I don't think that's the actual lineup. We may
He
get
did
more
say that there'd be more characters coming.
coming that we don't know
And
yet.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So we may see the Fantastic Four go to the same route, like popping on like smaller roles on other projects, like on if I don't know if John Krasinski's the Mr. Richards, he appears on Doctor Strange as as Mr. Fantastic, and then Ben shows up on She-Hulk as Ben. Yeah, Jason Segel. And I don't know, like little by little, I guess we'll get the cast.
Right. Yeah.
Going, yeah. So that'll be a cool thing.
I think that'd be cool, and just sprinkle them in over time throughout MCU. And they love to do that. They love to tease. Like, what's a character?
Teasers.
Black Panther. Black Panther was in Civil War, and then he got his own movie. Teasing. So it's cool. I like to, because it gets us excited. We're like, whoa, this person's finally here. And we're like, you don't get all of them yet. You just kind of have to wait. It's cool.
Yeah.
But I do want to say that the writers that you mentioned, Jeff, whatever, and Jeff Kaplan and Ian Springer.
Yeah.
I just remembered. I didn't mean that, Jeff, whatever. So if you're wondering, oh, what have they done? Well, nothing really. They did like one film that's not really like a major. I don't name of it off the top of my head. It's like one of those, what are they called? Indie movies that are like smaller budget project movies that kind of no one really knows about. So they did that film, and that's basically it. So Kevin Feige, one, he had to have a lot of trust in them, because this isn't something you can go back and look at their work. You can be like, okay, this person did this and this and this. For example, Matt Shackman doing Fantastic Four. You're like, oh, I've worked with him. He did WandaVision. The writers for Secret Wars, they're like, oh, well, I see what they're doing right now for Ant-Man 3. Rick and Morty is a popular show. Like, I can see how their work, it can translate. You can't really see that with these people. So I'm sure that there was a lot of meetings trying to discuss what they envision for Fantastic Four, because there's a lot of routes you can go for, especially them saying that it's not going to be an origin story, kind of like Spider-Man Homecoming wasn't an origin story. Kind of just throws you in there. Yeah. So I think it'll be interesting to see, because this is like their first big thing. And even if you've had other big things, once you come into MCU, most of the time, that's going to be bigger than whatever you worked on before. Yeah. So they're going to get thrown into the fire, and I trust them. I trust Kevin Feige, because it seems like he really wants to make sure Fantastic Four does not flop the same way it did in the past. Yeah. And especially with it's having connection to the MCU, they're like, okay, we really want to make sure this is good.
Yeah, this is like just like Spider-Man. This is the third reboot. No, I mean it's
it is, yeah.
Andrew, Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland. Just again, this is the third reboot, and I'm not saying Andrew Garfield movies suck, but Andrew Garfield's movies were the least favorite one of them, of like almost everybody, even though he was amazing in the movies. And I still think he's my favorite Spider-Man. But again, his movie didn't do so great, just like
and a lot of that came down to the writing of the movies.
Exactly. Sony, get your crap together with the writing. It's like we experienced that recently with Morbius. You see what happens with a really cool character with bad writing. It sucks. So, like you said, they I'm guessing they went through a lot of meetings, a lot of process to get to where they are and get the what is it called? What I'm just like brain fart right now.
I don't know what word you're looking for.
I don't know. I guess the opportunity. There you go. The opportunity to work in a big project like this, especially for Fantastic Four, which is one of the biggest characters of
Yeah.
the Marvel universe. They're the first family. They are lovable almost for everybody. They MCU grew without it, and that's a very high thing to say because they grew up without their one of their most favorite characters,
Yeah.
and the Fantastic Four is one of them, and the X-Men and Spider-Man, and they did it so far. And if they're gonna bring the first family, hey, props to them, bro. Because they are under a lot of pressure to make
Yep.
this movie good. So, and also to say the movie that they worked together before is for Bert and Ernie Guide to Friendship, um directed by Jeff, and also writers are Ian and Jeff. Both of them are the writers for that movie. It got 4.9 out of 10 on IMDb, so that's a pretty good rating. No, it's not. I just said
No, it's
10.
not.
For 1 second, I saw 5, but it's a 10. Even though I said 10, so
I was like, yo, what are you talking about? That's not a good rating. Yo, if a girl rates you a 4.9 out of 10 and you think that's good, there's a problem.
That's a problem. Okay, so I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. Again, credits may diss the movie for some specific reasons, but we
Yeah.
don't know yet until we see the movie, and we don't know until we see Fantastic Four if there was a bad or good writing. Hopefully, it's good.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say on that?
On Fantastic Four, I do not. I think that's basically the all the news that have dropped after.
That's
this
all the
movie.
news.
Yeah, there's not really much going on with. Oh yeah,
News.
the Flash, CW Flash with Grant Gustin, just started filming their
It's final
last
season.
Yeah, we saw a photo of Grant Gustin posted online of him showing his first time wearing the suit for the first time. I mean, last time on set. He put it like a selfie, and then he posted a photo of him actually showing for the first time on Arrow, as Barry Allen. So
Yep.
it's been a ride for him. It's been 11
Almost
years.
10 years.
Yeah,
Well,
so
probably 10 years.
yeah, is I love this show at the beginning and then just die.
Yeah, I
after.
started dying. But hey, maybe they'll make the last season a good season. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe.
But it's been a ride for him. I think it's very awesome that he's got to do something he loves for a long time and it hasn't gotten like canceled or something. So it's cool. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But that's all our news for this week. We are gonna go into She-Hulk. Spoilers ahead. Messi will say the iconic line later.
Ooh.
Not yet. We're going on break. We are having our commercial break sponsored by Go-Go Squeeze. Make sure to get your Go-Go Squeeze for your kids or grown adults like me.
Bye. All right. Peace out, guys. We'll be
Bye, bye, bye,
back.
Unqualified heroes.
We're back from a fake ad break.
But it's
Damn.
real because hold up. Wait. Because Go-Go Squeeze is good and they've decided to sponsor our show. Only in my dreams. I alluded to this, I told Messi this before, but it wasn't captured on camera, so I'll say it again. They need bigger applesauce.
They do have bigger applesauces out there. It's just not Go-Go because it's literally for kids.
Well, Go-Go needs to be for adults. It can be Go-Go Squeeze, X-rated version.
Oh my god. All right.
Anyways,
let's move on from that. Yeah.
I don't know. I said adults, and that was like the first thing that went to my head. Maybe that's not what should have gone in my head, but I didn't think of it any type of way. I
This
just
is a PG-13 podcast, Daniel.
point is, if you're listening to this, you're like, this guy's an idiot. So that's fine. You're still listening. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I don't care what you think.
You're still here, surprisingly.
Yeah, I'm still here. Not canceled yet, suckers. Watch me get canceled after this. Anyways,
Literally, yeah.
So, what was I saying before? Oh yeah, episode 6 of She-Hulk.
You have been warned.
You've been warned.
Yeah,
So,
full spoilers.
anything I say will be a full spoiler ahead. We now have 2/3 of the way through this show. And I'm missing Daredevil. Where the heck is Daredevil? You're telling me I've watched 3 hours of the show, because like every show's like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. You times that by 6. That's almost 3 hours. Point is, where's my man? All I got was I was going to say stupid mask, but it wasn't stupid. All I got was a mask. But I need more. I was
That's all I got.
promised more. I wasn't
Dude.
promised more, but I wanted more.
Dude, the MCU is like the biggest teaser of all times. They just love teasing us with every single detail and Easter egg that they can give us. And then the next episode, like, nothing happened. What are you talking about?
What
I don't know.
Daredevil mask?
Exactly. Like, nothing happened. Just enjoy this episode, who has nothing to do with what happened in the previous episode, just for like one part. But
Yeah. I'm like, bro, why are you going to show me that and not give it to me the next episode? At least, just, bro. Ah! There's 2 flies? Are you kidding me? Anyways, I thought there was only 1 fly. Okay, so if you're wondering, if you're watching and you're like, why is Daniel being Mr. Miyagi? Apparently there's 2 flies in my house. I thought there was only 1, but they've doubled. So now I've been outnumbered. So if you start seeing me getting attacked by a swarm of flies because they start multiplying by the second, then send help. Anyways, so thoughts on episode 6?
I thought that episode 5 and 6 were filler episodes. Other than the ending for both episodes, who has something, including what could happen on the future episodes. But to be honest, this episode was literally a filler episode with some comedy in it. It was super cringe, in my opinion. It was like, I think this episode, of all these 6 episodes, this one was the most cringe of all of them. It had the most cliche stuff with the Brycilla, this girl is all about me, bullcrap, daddy, yada, yada. And the way that she was treating her with all the chores and all the groomsmen being a dog, that was so messed up. I saw that, bro. I would have just like dipped after she just showed up.
For real, she just kept on like.
And then Jen, she just took it. She's like, whatever. It's not my thing. It's her wedding. Whatever. She was real for that. Because it was me. I was like, if you know that, you watch Friends, you get it. But yeah, so the episode was solid. There is nothing bad, but there's nothing good. Like it's a mid episode. It was a mid. It was a mid episode. There's nothing you can, if you expected more, like we did, because last episode was a big tease, then you'll be disappointed. I was kind of disappointed that I didn't get to see Matt Murdock, Daredevil having that conversation that they teased on the trailer for the half of the season. But yeah, it was funny. We saw a new character, which is big in the comics, kind of big-ish. But yeah, it was a pretty good, solid mid episode.
Yeah. I knew this was gonna be not what I expected the moment I read the title and it said it's just Jen. I was like, bro. I was like, they're really gonna do this to me? Bro. And then I watched it and I was like, yep, they really did it to me. So
it's just Jen. Yeah.
It's just Jen. So like you said, it was a mid episode. It was very cringe. But to me, I was okay with that cringe. There's some cringe where I'm like, No, like this is I can't. This is unwatchable cringe. This to me, it was like funny cringe. Maybe I'm just warming up to the show and like I'm understanding what it is. So to me, I'm like I'm okay with the cringe because like for example, the fight scene in episode 1, that was like unwatchable cringe. I was like I wish I could just like take that away from my brain. Uh, but to me, I was like, oh, this is kind of funny. I thought it was a pretty funny episode. I thought the humor landed somewhat. I enjoyed the humor, like when she was like, "Oh yeah, weddings at the most inconvenient time because that's what weddings are," and I was like, "Yep."
Yeah, literally coming in the most inconvenient time. Literally, yeah.
So I thought that was funny. I was like, "That's pretty." I don't know. And then they had some other humor that was pretty interesting. There was a big, what's the word, tease, I guess, with what's gonna go on with the rest of the show with what happened in the end. And Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Suave, Chico Suave, is not so Chico Suave after all. He got some cards up his sleeve.
You think so? You think I was watching? Okay, so I was watching with Tonelli, so for my second time. So I watched it by the first time by myself, and then I watched it again with my girlfriend Tonelli's, if girlfriend, whatever. And she thought the same thing. And I was like, nah, I don't think that guy has to do anything with what happened in the end. I think it was just a whatever guy. But that's true. Now that she pointed out, and now you pointed it out too, it's like, whoa, this Rico Suave dude, it may have something on his sleeve that we don't know. Like, he just came out of nowhere.
He did. The reason why I think he was part of it was because the question that someone asked. I don't know if they asked it or if he asked it or if someone else asked it, but it was like on the computer, and it said something like, "Do you want me to continue this?" or like, "What's the next step?" or something like that. I don't really remember off the top of my head what it said, but to me, it seemed like an indicator. Unless that was just what's it called? Like a misdirection. That's the word. Unless it was a misdirection, I thought they were working together. But I don't know, because like it kind of seemed very on purpose. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, Jen doesn't have a love life. Like as Jen, obviously as She-Hulk, she kind of did, but her as Jen didn't really have a love life. She can't really find anyone, but she also doesn't really want anyone. She doesn't care. She just living life as a lawyer. And then all of a sudden, this guy swoops in, and he's like, "Yeah, you know, I was just looking out for a girl eating some almonds."
They gave me the same vibe on Miss Marvel, the show, with Kamala and her love interest.
And the love interest.
Like at the beginning, he came out of nowhere, and then he was like flirting with her, making sure she feels good, yada yada yada. And then later on, it turns out that he was the son of the villain.
Yep.
Of the bad person. So like this could be the same scenario that this guy, like you said, is like swooping in, making everything look smooth, flirting, whatever, saying the right words, making sure she like lower her guard, and then boom, psych,
stab with whatever needle that they had.
Yeah, so that could be a scenario, but I don't know. I given the benefit of the doubt, I think this guy is good, and the guy that was recording or whatever was recording that scenario, because like you said on that we see like on the computer, like the photo of them actually eating the French fries. It could be that person like asking, "Yo, what's next? What are you gonna do? You want me like attack, or you want me to just keep watching?" So it could be either or. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Next episode, you'll see if I was wrong or right, if the guy was good or bad. So we'll see.
Yeah. What else we had? We also had Mr. Immortality,
Mr.
or something like that. Mr. Immortal.
Mr. Immortal.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, so he is.
This man just ran out of the window. That to me was probably the funniest scene in the entire episode, because he just like they're kind of like over, I guess, quote unquote, overwhelming him with like, oh, but why'd you do this and why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? And he just like looks at them and goes,
He just dips.
"Choo!"
He said, "You know
I don't
what?
know. It was funny.
Okay, so if you didn't get it on the show, he's literally an immortal person. He does not die. He is just like a little bit like Wolverine, but the only thing that Wolverine and him has difference, that Wolverine will eventually die. Like we saw in Logan, he died because he is not immortal, but he de-ages really, really slow. But this guy immortal, he has almost the same power of him, of healing and staying alive for like a long time. So he can take wounds and damage to his body and heal. But the thing is, when they get hurt, they feel it. Like they feel it.
Yep.
Like they feel it like whenever they get shot, they feel it like someone actually like you and I, we're not immortal, or people that get, yeah, we feel it. We want to die after they you get shot. So same thing with them.
So he technically dies. He just comes back to life like seconds later.
Yeah. So funny thing is, on the show, he got married like 20 times, and every time after they fire something, he just like fakes his death, and then and then another person just, how you doing? To the
How you
next person.
doing?
And then they'll say, yeah. So he just did it for 20 times, and they all suing him. I thought that was hilarious. I think that part, like I know they were jumping back and forth between Jen and them. I enjoyed the scenario of them suing him more funny than the wedding part.
It was pretty funny. I enjoyed that part. And then ending part with Nikki is just funny because she's a funny girl.
Yeah. Yeah, she
But
stole the show definitely in this.
it's always the
Yeah.
side characters. It's always the side characters. They steal the show. Anything else you got with? I can't think off the top of my head.
Okay, so the ending, the very, very ending. Because this is what literally they do, we just tease us with stuff. The first time we have heard of anything related to what happened on this ending was on the episode when we got the wrecking crew, which is the 4 dudes with Guardian construction stuff, attacking Jen, and they tried to stab her. Bah!
Stab, stab, stab.
Yeah, but they couldn't because she got that nasty green skin. Just quote unquote what the guy said. And after that, they said the boss gonna be mad. After that, they dropped it. 2 episodes happened. Nothing really mentioned it until this episode. They were in a lab. They didn't show who. They only showed hands and bodies of them looking for a new needle that can possibly penetrate her skin. So we probably won't know. We won't see that until like 2 more episodes in, because this is what they're doing, just teasing us with stuff that could happen for the next episode. But psych, they might show it like not this episode. The episode
Yep.
might be another filler episode, and then they show us on the next episode. But they only got what, 3 more episodes, right? It's 9 episodes.
3 more.
Yeah. So, I think they may show up next episode because they got no more time to do what we thought they were gonna do when we thought on the first episode. I don't think they're gonna bring back Abomination and then Hulk is gonna go all world Hulk
You don't think they're gonna show Abomination again?
to fight and team up in the Hulk. No,
Not to fight, but just to like they show him at some point. He's gonna show up. I think he's gonna show up.
probably just like doing some hippie stuff, like he said on his farm. It's like spiritually and stuff like that. I don't know, but to fight as a team up with Jen and him and then Werewolf Hulk.
No, that's not gonna happen.
I don't. Not now that the show is going on, and then our high expectations for that is not gonna. Probably is not gonna happen. So probably they're gonna tease something that will lead up to Captain America: New World Order. Because if the villain is the same, the leader, which is the guy with the big head, green. We probably shown him multiple times here already, but I'm gonna put a photo. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that guy. If he is the villain of this show, then again, it will be a tease for New World.
I just thought of something. I'm gonna interrupt you because I just thought of something.
Go ahead.
Hold up. So you were talking about like, oh, we're Hulk, Abomination, whatever. So Hulk came into my head, and I was like, you know what was a funny scene when Jen got drunk? She's like, what else am I gonna do? And she just kept on paying the dude $5, $5. She's like. And she was just like hella drunk. I was like, that's really funny. But then at some point when she was drunk, she called Bruce. She's like, Bruce, what's good? Come on, call me back, whatever. And it made me thinking, whoa, what if Bruce says something, and then maybe they say something about that at the very end of the show, like a voicemail from Bruce, and he says something, and we're like, whoa, and that's a tease for Bruce. I don't know, it's possible, but it made me thinking, well, how could he answer her phone call if he's on another planet, right? But then I also got thinking, the first time they were on the phone together and she was like, well, I got some business to do. He was already in space. There ain't no signal in space. You telling me this man was on the phone with Jennifer Walters from California? There ain't no signal up there. What type of Star Tech you got? Because it ain't the iPhone 14. So you know what? He probably can answer her phone call or give her a voicemail from another planet, because apparently you could do that from space. Okay, hey. That's the end of my rant.
Hey, they probably got some signal on the spaceship. They got some Wi-Fi. They can do some Wi-Fi calling. Hey, it works. You never had that, like when you forgot to pay your bill and then you have no service and you only have Wi-Fi.
You only got Wi-Fi.
You can still make calls like what's up.
They added Wi-Fi on the Sakaar ship.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it was an orgy, so might as well have Wi-Fi in it. So, yeah. So far, Dusty show of She-Hulk. Nothing really major happened except for the ending that we may see the villain, because
we may not.
Yeah. So the only villain that we got in is Tatiana, or whatever her name is.
Yeah, Tatiana.
That she fights with She-Hulk. Okay. One thing more. I hate when they fight. Because when they fight, they don't fight. Look at the first time they fought.
Right? Yeah, it was horrible.
It was horrible. She goes for a kick, and then she goes, pow! She punches him in her stomach, and then that's it. That's it. On here, a little more action happened. And yeah, of course, she goes for a punch. She goes for the punch. And then that's it. Like,
and then she fell.
And then she fell, and that's it. The fight over. She like ruined her face. The funny thing is when she calls out the person is like recording her, and she goes, "Oh, who are you recording this for? For your 11 followers on Instagram?" But, dude, that scene got me laughing so hard. Like,
I was like, "Damn, you're calling out these people."
Right, like who you are? You just got beat up, and you calling me out with my 11 followers.
Leave me and my 11 followers alone.
Yeah. So far, that's the only villain that we have gotten in the show, other than the secret stuff that Marvel is keeping up on their sleeve. And yeah, so hopefully next episode we see Daredevil. I will not be surprised if we don't. We're still waiting for our friend. Well, not
Leapfrog.
Friend. Leapfrog is like our Instagram friend. We're buddies now on Instagram.
We're buddies.
Yeah.
We're pals.
We're pals. So we're still waiting on Brandon to actually show it up. We got a tease of him last episode, him walking happily.
He's one of our pen pals.
Yeah.
Like Abomination.
Yeah, so hopefully we get to see him on his actually debut with actually lines and doing his whole Leapfrog thing. I'm actually excited for him. I saw his Instagram post of like saying like all this stuff that he has accomplished, and this was one of his biggest things. Like,
yeah, he's hyped. He's like really excited to show up.
Yeah,
even before he even shows up. Well, I guess he showed up for like a second, but
yeah,
I think he's like dedicated to this, and he's like proud of what he did. He's proud of his work, and that's good. That's what any actor should be.
Yeah,
They should be proud of their work.
even though I'm not saying that's gonna be bad. I'm not saying anything that like that. But there's always some haters like, okay, that scene was crappy or whatever. Even though there's people like that, when he sent that video to us saying like of how excited he was of how he portrayed the character, like I said, that's what the actors should feel like when they're acting on any role, depending of how good or bad the show will be or movie. So I cannot wait for Brandon to actually make his debut as Leapfrog on the show. I cannot wait for obviously for Matt Murdock show up on the suit
Yes.
finally. Hopefully, like I will be mad if they actually showed the scene of the bridge, like when he jumps over her.
Yeah, and he jumps over.
Yeah, and then he looks back and
that's the end of the show.
End of the show for last. I will be so mad. I will be so.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, probably they're gonna do that. Yeah. So hopefully we get to see those characters soon. If not, I'm just KMS myself.
Off
so yeah,
myself.
Yeah. So I think that's it for our She-Hulk episode 6 recap, our thoughts and reactions of it. We probably missed stuff. If you saw something that we didn't talk about, please comment on this video, let us know, and then we can probably talk about it on the next episode. And then yeah.
And then we'll see. Yeah. So you can find me at Danny42, 3 N's. Whoops, there goes my mic. 3 N's, 2 a second. I just got excited. On Instagram. And yeah, I appreciate the follow. I've been getting some random followers. I don't know if it's just like those people that are like, you want to be my sugar daddy, or if it's you guys. So I don't know. We'll see.
I think if you're following us from here, let us know so we know to follow you back because we don't want to follow those.
Yeah, everyone gets those random followers. They're like, oh yeah, you want to earn $1,000 every week to be my sugar daddy, and
exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah,
let us know.
You can find me at Messi.17_ on Instagram. And if you don't want to follow us personally, you can always follow us on Unqualified Heroes on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and
Spotify and all the other stuff. TikTok. Oh yeah, you already said TikTok. Anyways, that's us. Make sure to get your go-go squeeze.
All right, guys. Peace out, y'all.
Unqualified Heroes out.
We're so lame.